Welcome to the first episode of the Diving Into Sports podcast with your hosts Lyle
and Nash.
Henry. Let's dive into today's topic. So, we've got the Chargers at the Jaguars, 8:15 NBC Saturday. Give me your first thoughts.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say this is a huge game for both of us. I've been a huge Jaguars fan since I started watching the NFL, and Lyle has been a huge Chargers fan since he started watching the NFL. So our two favorite teams are colliding in a big stage on Saturday night. So it will be a big game here.
And they don't play often, but when they do, let's just say the Bolts have their number. We lead the series 9-4.
They might have the series lead, but we beat them by 28 earlier this year. And let me just list off a few stats from that game. In Week 3 at the Chargers, Trevor Lawrence threw for 3 touchdowns in a 38-10 win to Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and Marvin Jones. In that game as well, James Robinson and Travis Etienne combined for 145 rush yards. Robinson had his longest career touchdown of 50 yards on 4th and 1, and Etienne this year has 5 games over 100 yards. That was one.
Let's keep in mind, Robinson isn't on them anymore. And the Chargers had Keenan Allen, J.C. Jackson, Corey Linsley, and Donald Parham Jr. all out in that first matchup. Herbert was also banged up with the rib injury.
Injuries, excuses. They equal excuses, in my opinion. And just those players aren't going to cost the whole game. We can still beat them if they have those players.
Now that we have Keenan back, I'd watch out.
But Williams is out, and we can cover Allen because he'll be the main target. I would like to add on to Robinson, who I wish we still had on our team. He's played on both the Jaguars and the Jets this year after he was traded to them, and he's went 4-13 has been his combined record. He was on the Jaguars for the first 7 weeks as they went 2-5, and then the Jets the last 10 games, where most of those games he was coach's decision inactive, and they went 2-8 in that time period. So he had a rather rough season in terms of record, but he did have very good games when he played.
Now back to the Mike Williams injury. I personally absolutely hated our strategy of leaving in the starters until the, I believe, 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter of the Broncos game, which is now leading to Mike Williams being out for 2 to 3 weeks, which will be very crucial in the Jaguars game, but with us having Keenan back and Corey Linsley compared to the first matchup against the Jaguars, I think we definitely have a lot more depth on our team.
I would definitely disagree, and I think we have more depth, and I think we will win. The Chargers have a much worse rush defense. We have better running backs, if you ask me. Eckler has not been consistent, and their backup, Kelly, has not done much at all in his tenure for the Chargers. I think we could run all over them the whole game.
Well, with Eckler being a receiving back to
Etienne as well.
I think we've got, if the key to success for us is going to be getting Herbert open receivers deep. We saw in his rookie year in the past.
Without Williams, that could be 0.
The key to Herbert's success is by getting deep balls and Hail Marys, and you know they're going to be caught because he has such a beautiful throw, and if we can just break loose on this defense, get Keenan deep, maybe even a Michael Bandy sighting, a deep ball, touchdown. I think the defense will come. We've played great defense the last few games. Offense, if we get in rhythm, we have got this game. That's my
If you ask me, we are a dangerous team. The Chargers are average to below average. Their 5 road wins this year have been the Colts, the Cardinals, the Falcons, the Browns, and the Texans. All of those teams, those are all top 10 picks in this upcoming draft. None of them have made the playoffs.
You can add the Jaguars to that list after tomorrow. I think they're just as lowly as plenty of those teams. What have been their records the last few years?
In 2018, we were 5-11 with Bortles as our quarterback. After, in 2017, was our best season since this year with him, and we went to the AFC Championship game and lost to Brady. But then he fell apart again. 2018 went 5-11. We did, and then we cut him and got Gardner Minshew, who started most of the games in 2019. But then Nick Foles started a couple games that year as well, who's a very good veteran quarterback whose birthday is actually coming up in a few days. And then 2020, we went 1-15 with Minshew again, mostly, and Mike Glennon as well, another solid veteran quarterback. The last two seasons, including this season...
He's the opposite of solid.
I disagree. The last two seasons, including this season, have been led by our first pick in 2021, Lawrence, who went 3-14 2021 with disastrous Urban Meyer, and then he's gone 9-8 this year, which amazing turnaround, led by Dougie P. Really.
Our last few seasons, it's really been up and down. I mean, 2019 5-11, not the greatest. 2020 7-9, you start to see the improvement.
We've dealt with more hardships.
2021 9-8, and now in this regular season 10-7. The growth is coming. And if we can make a playoff run, I will start to defend Staley more. So he's got to prove himself. We've got to get a good win this week and show the whole league, really, that we're going to be a dangerous team in the next few years.
That's not going to happen. We're the dangerous team, and we're going to win. And if you look at it, in my opinion, clearly, we have the better coach, we have the better run defense, better running backs, the better quarterback. The only thing I think the Chargers have over us in this game is the pass defense, if I'm being honest.
I mean, keep in mind, neither of these teams have made the playoffs since at least 2018. Chargers, 2018, we beat the Ravens 23-17 in the wild card, then lost to the Patriots. That game was ugly, 28-41 in the divisional round.
Phillip Rivers, oh my goodness.
How have your last few playoff appearances been?
Well, we went to the AFC Championship and lost to guess who, the Patriots, with Bortles in 2017, as I already mentioned. But I think the real key in this game is if you look at the leaders of both teams. I mean, our coach, Doug Peterson, has done an incredible job this year, and he really has his whole NFL career. Has been an assistant or head coach on 9 different teams to win 9 or more games. Amazing, including this year. He was on the Eagles in 2009, Chiefs in 13-14, and then the Eagles also in 2010. The Chiefs again 15, the Eagles back again as the head coach in 17, 18, and 19, and then us this year, 2022, we've got 9 wins. He's really had a great career, and it's continuing.
And on the coaching train, Staley is obviously a defensive-minded coach. That's why we've seen the past few games our defense has started to come, and I do believe that'll continue tomorrow. And again, I feel like the key will be bringing the heat on offense, just attacking their defense. Joe Lombardi is going to have a great game called tomorrow, and a lot of it's going to be relying on him.
I think we have a much better coaching staff. And another reason why I think we will definitely win the game tomorrow is because of our home field. I mean, it was amazing last week against the Titans, and they're passing out white rally towels to the first 64,500 fans celebrating our AFC South victory. And I think that place will be pumping with teal, and I think there will be limited to no powder blue in sight. Also, John Henderson is having the Duval chant. He's saying it before the game for his first time, and he ranks number 1 in Jaguars history in tackles for loss. A cool little stat. He will get that place wild.
I've got to say, last week was definitely the most Jaguars fans I've ever seen at a home game. Normally, I estimate about 5 per game.
Oh my goodness, a Chargers fan saying that.
We've taken over LA, please. Baker, I mean, come on. We rule LA.
Well, Trevor's definitely better than Herbert if you're talking about quarterbacks.
Comparing those two, we have seen them match up once in the NFL
and
before.
We won.
Obviously, the Jaguars got them earlier this year.
Wasn't even close.
And you might be wondering if Clemson and Oregon, Trevor and Herbert played in college. Those two teams have never played in college, so they've only met once in their whole career. And that was with a lot of injuries. I think Herbert playoffs
28 points though. 28.
He could be the king of the playoffs.
8. I think we'll win again, I'll say that. And listen to this stat for Trevor. He's produced 4 games with a completion percentage of 80% or more this year, with at least 20 attempts in those games. And that tied the NFL all-time single-season record, which was Breeze in 2018 and Kirk Cousins in 2019. I mean, he's had an amazing career, already, I'd say that, an amazing year, and then an amazing turnaround. I mean, this is about as good as it gets for Trevor, as good as it could get, really.
And Eckler, for us, I believe, is catching his stride, too. I mean, he's been on a roll lately.
Inconsistent.
Always passing. He's always good in the passing game. But running, he has caught his stride lately. That Colts game, if we didn't have him in that game would have been much closer. But Nick Foles just struggled very mightily.
While Nick Foles, don't blame it on him. Their offensive line is trash. The Colts' offensive line, even with Saturday, is trash. Don't blame it on Nick Foles. He got injured the game after, carted off. I feel so bad for him. He deserves a spot on the roster next year, and I think he'll get that. Maybe he could reunite with Dougie P again in Jacksonville. I would hope so.
Bottom line, the Colts are an absolute dumpster fire. Anyway, back to this game. I mean, this has been, we saw it on NBC, they said 50% chance for each team to win.
It's about as even as it gets for playoffs. It's by far the most even this week. I mean, if you look at some other games, Dolphins, Bills, I think that game could be a major blowout, for example. And also, if you're talking about Eckler running all over us, I mean, we have one of the better defenses in the whole league. I mean, Foyeseo Lucan ranks number 1 in total tackles in the whole league, who's one of our better veteran players. And that's just amazing. First in the league in total tackles at 184. That is a lot. And I think that's going to increase tomorrow night.
I think there's also some defensive players for us that have kind of shown up out of, you might say, nowhere and really played well, really great lately. Drew Tranquil, Alohi Gilman, and Joey Bosa, getting him back. I mean, even though he did get nicked up last week, I think if he says he's feeling before last week, he said he felt the most healthy he has in years.
Our team is, too.
He is such a key, to our defense.
I mean, our team is so healthy. Our only questionable players tomorrow, Kendrick Pryor, hasn't played in the whole game this year. Jamal Agnew, I think he'll play. He's been a very key piece for us. Trevor Lawrence, who's been questionable the past 4 weeks, obviously he's going to play. Ross Matisic, our long snapper, which would be very interesting if he didn't play, but he did play last week when he was questionable too. And Brandon Sheriff, who also was questionable last week and still played, so I think he'll play as well. I mean, we are a very healthy team right now. On the Chargers are frankly not. I mean, one of their best wide receivers, Williams, as we've already said, is out for tomorrow. That is going to be a big factor, and it's going to help us a lot, if you ask me.
The story of our season has been dealing with injuries. You look almost every week of the season, we have the most injuries. You know, we've bounced back from that. Better record than you have, 10-7, dealing with all the injuries. We should do the same tomorrow. And having someone like our Trey Pipkins back a few weeks ago, unsung heroes, our offensive line, gotta give a shout out to them. Jamari Sallier has balled out this year. I think that's great because we really needed more depth in the offensive line, and to have the young players show up and build around Herbert, I think we're continuing to grow. And tomorrow, for both franchises, really is going to decide a lot of what happens.
It's the biggest game for both of us in years. And I mean, it is going to be a huge game. Al Michaels will be announcing it with Tony Dungy. He's coming back to NBC to announce this one, not with his former partner Collinsworth, though. He will be announcing a later game this weekend. But Al Michaels will be back in a big game in Duval County, and I'm just going to say it now. Duval. And bolt down. Bolt down.
Bolt up. Bolt up, and if you talk to most people, fans of the league, people around the league, I think most will tell you we have the edge. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan, but people just love to hate on Herbert. But there is no reason. He has had to deal with...
The prince that was promised is better.
We have had to deal with so many injuries around Herbert. Herbert himself, that rib injury, I felt so bad for him for weeks on weeks, over 10 weeks, just nagging at him. Think about if
he didn't miss a game for that injury. I'm going to interrupt and say that. He didn't miss a game. I mean, you can say that because he didn't.
But you saw how much he was grabbing at it and grimacing at it. It was all because of the dirty Chiefs just hitting him in that one of the first games of the year. That drove me crazy. I hated that injury because it put such a big blow in our season. But in the long run,
really,
I think it might help us because we have come together as a team, the whole roster, our backups, and we have grown stronger. Everybody has gotten better from that. And now we are all a better team because of that injury.
Yeah, we are all a better team than the Chargers. We are by far a better team. I mean, I was just thinking, too, we have a better wide receiver core, too, not just running backs. I mean, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, I mean, it goes on. Marvin Jones. For the first time this season in franchise history, we've had 3 players with at least 70 catches. Evan Ingram, our tight end, and Zay and Kirk as well. I mean, we've had a great year on offense after some early struggles. But, I mean, I think we've put it all together at the right time, and we are a dangerous team in this postseason. I'd watch out if I'm a Chiefs fan because we're going to win this week, and then we're going to beat them next week if we play them, unless the Ravens or Dolphins win.
I think, as a Chargers fan, obviously I think they can go far in the playoffs, but I think if the Jaguars were playing any other team, I think they could go far too. But I think we are probably the most underrated team in the playoffs. No one likes us to win the Super Bowl. And before the season, did you see how many odds and people were saying...
That is sad.
How many people were saying they thought we would win the Super Bowl, and now people are just forgetting about us? What? I think it's just as likely now, even though we're in the wild card. Even though we didn't get the first seed, I still think we will definitely win the Super Bowl.
5 of their 9 wins, as I already said, have been against below 500 teams, maybe more. Those were all their road wins. I mean, that's horrible. They just don't have quality wins, and we do. I mean, we do. We really do. We swept the Titans for the first time in over 10 years. We've dominated the AFC South, except for in the middle when the Titans were leading. We've proved we're better than them, and we have proved we're better than a lot of NFL squads. And we've already proved we're better than the Chargers earlier this year. So I think you can clearly make the argument we're going to beat them tomorrow, and in Duval County, we're going to advance to divisional.
To add on to the rivalry topic, I'm looking forward and I'm thinking if we beat the Jaguars and advance to the divisional, we could very likely play our division rival, the Chiefs. By far, my least favorite team in the NFL. I would love nothing more than to beat the tar out of them in the playoffs, send Mahomes home crying, and to have Herbert gain power, move to the AFC Championship.
We continue to gain power, so I don't think it's crazy to even say that we could go to the Super Bowl.
I think that goes the same for us. I've already said that, and there are so many reasons why. But the bottom line is tomorrow is going to be a great game. Both teams...
With the Jaguars winning.
With the Chargers winning. Both teams are going to have a great offensive performance. I believe this will be a high-scoring game. I believe the fans will support both teams. And I think this will be a great first day.
A big moment for both franchises that the whole the whole country will get to have a spotlight on it too.
It'll be a great first day for the NFL playoffs, capping off
After the Seahawks-Niners game.
Capping off the day with a Chargers win.
With a Jaguars win.
That's it for us, but go Chargers.
Go Jaguars.
And we hope you enjoy the game as much as we will.
Thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can listen to Diving into Sports on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Pocket Casts, and Stitcher. We'd love it if you could follow us on all of those platforms. And check out our Twitter account